Hey guys, Kate Sparks here again, because this is my channel and I'm the only person you're probably ever going to see on here. How you doing? Things are good here. I just finished inputting my edits from proofreading into Allurian, which is my new book. So that's pretty exciting. That one's all ready to roll and it's going to be published on June 15th, which is pretty exciting. Actually, it's extremely exciting. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. I thought today, instead of doing a reader question, sorry to anyone who's waiting, I thought we would do a little book review because I just finished a really good nonfiction book that I think would be useful to a lot of people. So we're going to talk about it. This is The Productivity Project by Chris Bailey. He's a Canadian author. I have to point that out because I like Canadian authors. And he spent a year researching productivity, different methods of productivity, different productivity hacks, and yeah, he spent a year testing them out and seeing how they worked out for his own productivity, testing out different theories and different methods, and all the stuff that the rest of us don't really have time to test out. And the result of that was a year-long series of blog posts, and the best of that made it into this book. So this is basically all the stuff that worked and not so much the stuff that didn't work. And that to me makes it worth the price of the book. I could go look at his blog and I could read through all of the 300 whatever probably posts that there are on there. Or I could just spend the $32 Canadian, pick up the book, have it on my shelf to refer back to whenever I want, and not have to read through all the crap that didn't work. So to me that's worth the price tag. The tagline on this one is, accomplishing more by managing your time, attention, and energy. And the biggest takeaway from this book for me was that time management is actually not the biggest aspect of productivity, which is strange for me because I spend a lot of time with my planners and trying to figure out the most productive way to use the few hours a day that I get to work. The point that he makes is that if we can use our attention and our energy properly and make them their most effective, then productivity will flow from that. And there are loads of good ideas in this book. It's fantastic. It's packed with information. A few things that I'm working on right now are reducing my caffeine intake and trying to use caffeine strategically during the day to help me get through low energy periods rather than just consuming it all day long like I usually do. And after a week, I'm already noticing a positive effect from that and some negative effects. The other thing that I'm working on is limiting my social media use during the day, which is tough for me, but it is a huge distraction. And it's one of those things that's a constant distraction. As soon as I get on Facebook and post something, I find that for the rest of the day I'm checking back to see if there are any notifications or any likes or any comments that I should respond to. And same goes for Instagram or Twitter or anywhere else. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting my work done before I even look at those sites. I'm making noise down here with the book. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's a big change for me. It's a hard change because I am a bit addicted to being connected and talking to people and interacting with people, especially readers, because I love them. You guys know from my other videos that I do have attention issues. But when I get distracted, I have a hard time then returning my focus to whatever I was working on. So all of the tips in here for working on my attention have been very helpful. And energy as well. My energy is getting better with my exercise and all that kind of stuff, but there's always room for improvement. So very good tips in there. There are some that are less useful for me personally. Things like measuring your energy throughout the day so that you can do your hardest work that requires the most focus and attention and energy during your peak hours. It's a great idea in theory, but as it turns out, my peak hours come after lunch, and that doesn't give me much time before the kids come home from school. Ideally, I would do my hardest work. I would do my drafting and my editing and all that kind of stuff between 1 and 5 o'clock, but I can't do that. That's not to say that every tip in every book has to be applicable to every reader. Just like every fiction book doesn't have to be absolutely perfect for every reader, we'll take what we need from them. And even the tips that I can't use are things that I can maybe implement in smaller ways. Maybe days when my husband's off, I can work during my peak period. Maybe I can ask my family to help me out a little bit that way. So really good ideas. I do recommend that if you pick this one up, you actually do all of the little activities that he has at the end of chapters. I don't know if you can see that. They're just little challenges. They take maybe 10 minutes or so, most of them. You need a pen and paper, and they really help you make the lessons from each chapter personal and applicable to you. So definitely do those if you pick it up. Well, overall, this was a really, really helpful book for me. I highly recommend it to anyone who is looking for ways to maybe become a little bit more productive during the day in your work or in your personal life or in anything else. The tone of this one is fairly casual, but not overly so. It's friendly and not too formal, but it is very well researched, and if you have a thing for footnotes, this is probably another good one to pick up. He did a lot of research for this project, and I've actually picked up one of the books that he recommended. What's it called? It's called The Shallows by Nicholas Carr. What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains, which is, I found it to be not as alarmist as the title makes it sound, but just as scary. We'll talk about that one another time. Somebody's looking through my garbage. Everybody's driving slowly down our street because it's bulk garbage day. It's very exciting. We've got a futon out there. You don't care. So yeah, I'm really glad I picked this book up. Highly recommend it. I will be referring back to it in the future, definitely, because I will fall off the wagon on everything, especially limiting the caffeine. I love my tea, and I just discovered cold brewed iced coffee. Yeah, I'll have to come back to this one. Thank you for joining me today for my very first book review. I hope it wasn't too confusing. If you're interested in more book reviews from me that are probably more sensical and logical and shorter, you can follow me on Goodreads. I will try to remember to put the link down below in the description. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me this week. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will get to them as soon as I can. I have a good list of them right now, but I'll probably just jump on whichever ones catch my attention for next week. So, all right, thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.